most of us are not aware of is that our lives is made of energy. Energy affects every aspect of your life. It affects your relationships. It affects your relationship with loved ones. It affects your relationship with yourself. It affects your spirituality. It affects your productivity. Life is simply how much energy you have on a daily basis. My simple definition of energy is it is your ability to do work. When you don't really have energy, chances are it will impact the quality of your life. When we are young people, nobody ever tells us how important energy is. Most of us always think that energy is infinite. We don't understand that energy is finite until we get very old. The only difference between a 60-year-old and a 20-year-old is not the number of years they've lived. In most cases, it's the amount of energy available for them to be able to do stuff. We've always been told that building is left, or building is important, or building should be done in your younger age. And it is simply because anything that it demands or anything that requires a lot of energy, it's better for it to be done in your youth because you have an abundance of energy. As we get older, you will realize that demand will always exceed capacity. The demand on your time, the demand of activities, the things that you have to do in your life will always be more than the time that you have. As a young person, you are only limited by your imagination. You are only limited by the vision of the life that you want to have. You are limited by the kind of how you dream on the kind of life that you want. So what I need to do in today's session, I need to show you how physical fitness has a big impact on every area of your life. And to do this, I'm going to use a very easy pyramid of health. And pyramid is one of my favorite tools when it comes to teaching. I'm going to divide your life into 4 areas. And at the bottom here, which is the very basic, I will start with physical health. Physical health, this is where we get your raw energy. This is one thing that most of us always think of energy when we think of people that participate or make a living from manual labor. When you talk of construction workers, when you talk of athletes, when you talk of anybody that uses their physical strength for them to make a living, we only think of energy at this level. And this is basic. For me to be able to talk to you, for me to be able to see you, for me to be able to teach you now, for me to be able to come to work, to be able to take my dog for a walk, for me to be able to do any of those things, I need some kind of raw energy that is going to fuel my body. What are the things that we need to do for us to get energy here? The important thing that I want to teach you today is I want us to talk about principles. Principles are microcosms of other principles, which means that the principles that are applicable here should be applicable in every other area of your life. A principle in simple terms is a system that gives you guaranteed outcome. If you take a principle in one field, you should be able to apply it in a different field of your life or a different phase of your life and get the same outcome. How do we get physical energy? The first thing here, the principle here is nutrition. We have to be able to eat right. Number 2, exercise. Number 3, air. This is oxygen. We need to be able to take in pure oxygen, be able to breathe properly. Number 4 is sleep. These are the basics that you need on a day-to-day basis. And of course, water, which is H2O here. If you break any of this, it will affect your physical raw energy. You have to eat properly, and when we're talking about eating properly, I'm not going to get into the depth of this here. This is just to show you how this whole thing is connected. But you have to understand your food is broken down into three macros. We're talking about